Hey guys, welcome back. Stars Podcast here. Ron Jordan. We have Aaron Diaz and a special guest today, Tara, the Tiny Terror Graff. She is a professional MMA fighter. She fights at a Royal Martial Arts Academy, and she has a professional record of 1 win, 1 loss. And I watched the 1-loss fight, and you smoked those first 2 rounds. And then that she came out kind of different the 3rd round, but we'll get into it.
That game plan, it didn't go my way. It shouldn't stop. We'll get into that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to get into it, but so I listened to a podcast that you did back in the beginning of the year in January. I can't remember the guys' names. It was can't remember their names, but it was something philosophy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you good, Aaron?
I got kids.
Yeah. I got kids.
We all got kids. We get it. It's all good. But no, whenever you were talking about that, you said you got late to the game on mixed martial arts and martial arts in general.
I did, yeah. So I actually started when I was 28. Had no martial art experience whatsoever. I've always been athletic, but never really had any actual training.
Yeah.
You know, one of the guys knew that I was very, very fit, very athletic, and pretty strong. And he said, mixed martial arts, are you into it? You want to do it? I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it, you know?
Yeah. And hey, Aaron, why don't you go on mute for a second?
On mute?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm getting a lot of feedback on your end. Sorry.
No kidding.
All right, go ahead, Tara.
Yeah, but I think I jumped into the cage too soon. I should have definitely got a little bit of work under my feet before I jumped into the cage. But you know, that's what makes me that's what makes my story, I guess, you know. Stupid.
Yeah, and that's what that's what we really focus on here on the podcast, is kind of that story. I wanted to jump there, but let's go further back because you did start so late. So you are athletic, you played soccer in high school. What other things were you doing to stay in shape, I guess, during that time, or anything?
Really just in the gym, you know, running. I did a lot of like half marathons and 5Ks and stuff like that, and lifting. But other than that, you know, I didn't really do much, you know, as far as training. No martial art, nothing.
Got it. So you were doing a lot of running?
It's a good thing though. Some people say that's you know, I'm a clean board. You know, they didn't have to break any bad habits and
your body doesn't have the wear and tear on it.
Right, and that's the other thing. Yeah, I don't have the you know, the wear and tear on my body. You know, most people, like wrestlers or people that have done BJJ all their life, you know, they have bad knees and, you know, they have you know, joint problems. Don't have that. You know, people that box and do Muay Thai, you know, they got too many blows to the head, you know. But
especially that Muay Thai, that's some wicked stuff.
Yeah.
Have you that cauliflower here?
Yeah. Have you trained any of the Muay Thai or any kickboxing?
Yeah. I mean, now I do a little bit of everything. So.
Yeah.
Hey, Luca, stop it.
This is a show.
It's all good, man. Totally good. Hey, this goes to your story too, Tara. I mean, you have kids, you have a full-time job, and you know, you're waking up early to go strength train, you're going to work, and then in the evenings you're doing all of these other mixed martial arts trainings. Yeah. I mean, run me through that schedule.
It's weird right now because of this whole Corona thing, man. Like normally I'm never in the house. We, you know, from the time we all get up to the time we all go to bed, we're on the move. So now I'm like, okay, we've been in here a little long now, guys. Like I can't look at the walls anymore.
You guys are bouncing off the walls. I swear, as soon as the sun comes out, we're like, get outside.
Yeah. Yeah, blow the stink off. See you later. They're supposedly reopening a lot of I guess the gyms and other businesses here pretty soon, I guess.
Mhm.
At least around
Yeah,
here.
they're
I don't know what it's like for
opening
you.
a lot. I wish they would open the gyms and stuff, but that's not until phase 2, which sucks. But I'm still doing my
Yeah.
home cleaning, and I have mats in my basement, so it just sucks, not having that the other training partners and sparring partners. My other half had knee surgery, so I don't really have him to lean on right now. I'm kind of trying to take care of him, get him better. So I miss the hands-on, the
Right.
sparring. So.
Yeah, it was funny. I saw a couple of videos with you pushing your car, and you was,
Yeah, you can thank Josh for that one. But look,
so
when I didn't have somebody that was able to guide the car, right? I had to improvise. So what did I do? I threw both of my kids. I have they're big. They're 11 and 7, but they're big 11 and 7-year-old. And I threw them in a bucket and I pushed them down the sidewalk.
Nice.
But that honestly was harder than pushing the car.
Yeah.
Talk about adapting and overcoming, huh?
What's that?
Talk about adapting and overcoming.
Right? They thought it was the greatest thing in the world. They're like, come on, Mom, you're slow. I'm like, damn it. Okay, stop.
They're the best coaches out of everybody.
Right.
I watched the guy, he put his kids in a wheelbarrow and was doing the wheelbarrow pushes up and down his alleyway. So yeah, we're all
put them on a flat surface with no wheels. That's tough.
Heck yeah, it's tough. Hopefully they'll topple over too,
I came inside and Mike was like, man, you have a good one? I was like, yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
Hey, it was funny, Tara. I saw a video, and I think you were doing a podcast, and you were driving in your car.
Yeah. That was right before my pro debut. I was coming back from getting my my national MMA license. He was like, we got to go on right now. I'm like, all right, well, I'm kind of driving back from Baltimore. So he's like, do you have it on, like, can you mount it? I'm like, sure. I told you, I'm always on the go.
Always moving. So you have to get a pro MMA license. What is that process like?
It's kind of weird. It's the same thing as boxing. You have to, I had to sit down and interview with the guy in Baltimore. And then they have to go over everything, like, what it means. You can't put your hands on anybody in the street, stuff like that. But that's pretty much it.
You're a deadly weapon now.
You know what you're getting into.
That's interesting.
You're a deadly weapon now.
Yeah, that's for sure. So you can't. What if something would pop off and you do intervene? You're. Is it okay to intervene?
Yes and no. Like I can protect myself,
okay.
But I cannot instigate anything. Of course there'd be a long, court process and stuff, and I'd have to prove, hey, no, they hit me, Yeah. But it just sucks. That's why I try to avoid any scenes like that. I mean, that's kind of a good thing that I started this later in life, because I'm past that bar stage,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
the nonsense, kind of into that other stage of your life, a little more mature, can think correctly. That's actually an interesting point too, because post 25, your brain's pretty much settled where it's going to be settled. That type of development is I guess done, for lack of better terms. So I don't know if there's less likelihood of like head injuries and things like that if you start later on. I'd be curious to know if you've ever explored that.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's how well you can move your head. How yes, the blows, I think, repetitive blows, I should say, take a toll, but also, how hard you can take when to get hit, but I think it does play into my favor, starting a little bit later. I think I'm smarter than most of the younger fighters. You know, young, you're sometimes you're a hothead. Most of the time you're a hothead, you know, in this game anyway. And you don't think as clearly, I think, when you're younger.
Yeah,
No,
it's definitely probably a little more strategic wise, because I know as I get older, if I'm, you know, competing or doing anything in that nature, like I want to do it so I don't get hit, and I want to be effective and like pretty much pick your punches or your kicks, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and that's kind of going back to my beginning, the beginning of my MMA journey when I was amateur, just jumping in. I was, you know, I was kind of off the wall. You know, I wasn't afraid to get hit. You know, I would just go, you know, beeline. I would eat those punches. And it was a little reckless at first, you know, but that was all like heart and my athleticism. You know, I had no training. I'm like, this is like, you gotta go, you know. But now I think even the last couple of years have wisened up to that's not smart. That's not how you play this game if you want to stay in this game. So,
Which is funny because that's like the opposite of what people are thinking. I believe, like, you know, it's just like, I know Ron when he started doing his ultras and stuff, he found out that he was getting hurt in the process because he didn't have the coaching, he didn't have the mentality. You just pretty much, this dude over here, Ron, he goes 137% all the time. So, and that's just like, you can't do that. You can't do that. And that thought process that you probably got now, and like, that's got to be the greatest benefit for you.
Yeah, I agree. I do. I definitely agree on that.
yeah, having a solid coach too. So that's an interesting dynamic as well that you have going on, because your boyfriend is your coach, correct?
Right. Yep. Yeah, he's my head BJJ coach, and you know, he's one of my MMA coaches. And then he'll, you know, partner up and help me along with my strength and conditioning. Josh does most of that, but he'll help me. Like, he guides me along. Before Josh, I had him, so he does a lot of my stuff. So it does helps a lot.
So is there ever a time, let me just tell you, like, I can't teach my wife how to shoot guns or kick or do any of that. So it's kind of funny how, you know, your trainer is your boyfriend. Do you ever like lash out and be like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about or anything like that?
I never say you don't know, because he's very educated when it comes to
well,
that.
that's my wife tells me. So I was just saying.
Now, don't get me wrong. When we have our disagreements, we turn the heat up a little bit. You know, we like to get to punch each other in the face. You know, we get to darce each other, put each other in leg locks. Like, you know, it's cool. But no, he knows what he's doing. I know he will always look out for me and look at, you know, has my best interest. You know, of course, there are times where you're gonna disagree. You know, there's times where like he's having me do something and I'm like, no, I can't. I'm better. I work better if I'm like this. You know, there's always gonna be that. I can't say it's perfect. You know, but no, I do know that he always has my best interest. So.
Yeah, it's probably when his business is business, right?
Right. Yeah, especially like camp time. Like, you know, there are sometimes I'm like, shut your ass. Like,
Right. I couldn't imagine.
like,
Yeah.
if you're not at your coach sometimes, then it's not camp time.
Now you have other professional fighters in your gym as well, correct?
Yeah. Well, we have a few. You know, it's hard. That's why you kind of have to go, you know, train everywhere. But yeah, I do have a few.
Okay. I mean, do they train with you?
Yeah, absolutely. The only bad thing is I'm the only female, so
Yeah.
it's good and bad. You know, I can if I can take a male punch, more than likely I can take a female punch. You know, men are very strong in clinch, very strong on the ground, on the cage. You know, but but sometimes you need that female body. You know, we work different. We're flexible. You know, I have a few guys that, you know, I can grapple with that are a little flexible and are able to, you know, I don't want to say move like a female, but closer than most other guys.
I understand. I mean, I roll as well, and I get it. They're different. That's why you roll with everybody in the gym as much as you can, because different body styles. Not everything works on everybody.
On everybody, exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you know, for the girl that I'm training for now and have been training for, she's very hippie. So men, it's like all of their weight is up top. You know, when I'm and my game is like on the cage, like I want to smash you on the cage and I'll take you down that way. To do that on a female that's hippie is completely different ball game than any man. I don't care, like, you know, how the man is shaped. It's different.
What does hippie mean? Like
I'm thinking patchouli. I'm thinking like dreads.
Like, I think I know what you mean, but I'd like to I want to understand that better.
Got a big bum.
Exactly.
Okay. Listen, I thought so. I wanted to know. So, are you training with other women then too, to kind of mix
with
in
other big butt women?
No, and that's the bad thing. The only time I really train with women is if they come to me. I have one of my other coaches. He did reach out, and he does have once everything opens up, he has quite a few females that from another gym that I haven't been to. Actually, I'm sorry, I've been there one time like 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
They're coming to train, which is great. But the only other female that I've had, she was from France. She was a phenomenal kickboxer. She's very decorated in kickboxing, or is it Muay Thai? Muay Thai. I'm sorry. And which she was perfect for me, because she too was thicker on the bottom side.
Yeah.
So it was perfect for me, you know. But unfortunately, she's back in France now. But man, I'm like, I need somebody like that.
So somebody that carries their weight down at the bottom half like that, is it because you got to get so much lower on them to get them down? Like, get that hip through.
Right. Yeah. Like they're more like their base is better, you know, like triangle.
That's what I'm after. Is I'm trying to, you know, because I saw, like I said, I watched that one fight, your second pro fight, and that's exactly what you do. You lean on the cage, and then once you get down, your ground and pound is phenomenal. You got in that 3/4 mount, and you just started elbows and everything you could. Strategic, of course. You didn't just lose your head and go nuts, which was really cool to see, especially just 2 fights in your second pro fight. So the mindset is it's above where your record shows. It looks like.
Yeah, like I said, I wish I would have. I'm glad I started later, but I wish I would have trained a little bit more before I jumped into the cage. Now, cage experience is a lot. You know, I had 10 amateur fights, so that's a lot. It's great, but I think I could have benefited a little bit more from just hanging back just a little.
But you only had really 5 amateur fights with a professional coach, though, right?
Right. Yeah, I was completely independent. I had nothing. You know, I had Joe Blow right here saying, "Hey, yeah, that looks good. Do that." You know.
Right. Man, that's got to be frustrating. You know, whenever you had that initial success, and then you went on a streak there where you didn't have success. Kind of what went through your head as you're continuing to train and continuing to pursue this dream? What kept you going and loss after loss, you know? Because that's tough.
It was really tough. Like, I enjoyed this. You know, I was like, this is awesome. This is so much fun. You know, I've always been, now, even though I had a late start in doing this, I've always been interested. I've always watched MMA, the UFC. It's always been intriguing. But I don't know, like something just said, something in me just wanted to do it, you know? And I guess that's when, you know, when people always ask why. And I'm like, I honestly, I can't give a reason.
Yeah.
I love this thing, you know? They're like, you know, you're 33 years old with kids, you know?
I don't know. Personally, I think that's the coolest shit in the world to you know, to watch your mom get locked in a cage and go beat the hell out of somebody. Like
Yeah.
when she tells me to clean my room, I clean my room.
Yeah.
You know?
You would think they would listen, but
No, I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding. But
Hey, funny,
but
like how does this work at like PTO meetings or, you know, teacher conferences, you know?
you know, the funny thing is they must go to school and talk about it, because I don't like to, I don't put it out there. You know, most of the time when people like to put it out there, they want that like confrontation. They want that like, oh yeah, look at me. That's not me. So I guess the boys at least talk about it all the time, because the teachers know. So one of my youngest son, since they don't have school, the teacher is, you know, doing like a pen pal. So they're sending snail mail. That way it kind of gets the kid writing still, even though we're doing the packets and stuff with them. But
I like that idea.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. He likes it. But in her letter, it talks, you know, about me, and I'm like, man, and I had no idea this teacher knew until now. But yeah, it's I try not to talk about it, especially with their school and stuff.
right.
You know, they wear my shirts going to school. One of them's got like fists. I'm like, oh, God.
I love it. I love it. You know, that is the dynamic though. Being a mom and doing this, for me it seems different, but I don't know. Do you feel like it's different, guy versus female? I don't know.
Yes and no. You know, it's yeah, you know, men have kids, but you know how kids are most of the time anyway. They're about mom.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time. But do I think it's, you know, I think it's the same, you know.
Yeah. What's your thought on taking the kids to the fights? Do you like them there?
I leave it up to them now. The first couple, you know, I explained to them, you know, and they knew, well, my oldest knew, he wanted to go right away. And I was myself, I was a little leery. I'm like, look, dude, you know that like mom could take a bad blow and I could start bleeding everywhere, you know, trying to prepare him for
right.
But he's wanted to go since day one. My youngest was a little leery, you know, but I leave it up to them. Most of the time, they're amped and they want to go. They get upset when they can't go.
Okay.
You know, because like, for instance, when I was in Buffalo, you know, it was a last minute fight. You know, they went to my fight a month before because I had just went pro, you know, here in Maryland. So they actually came to that one. So they get bummed out when they can't go. They get really nervous. That's why I don't like to see them, at least only for a split second, right, you know, before, because I don't get nervous, but you know, when you look at your kids, it's a little bit different. Or when you see them nervous, it's a little different. But yeah, you know, so like before, when they were allowed to come over to me, you know, before I got in the cage, quick hug, kiss, goodbye, gotta go. I don't have time for that
yeah, time to go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, one question about like before you go into the ring, like what's your mindset like? Are you cool, calm? Like, hey, look, this is just another day.
You know, the first time I didn't get nervous. I was like, what's wrong with you? You're getting ready to go fight. Like, but it's really weird. I don't anymore. Even at my pro debut, it was a big promotion. You know, King of the Cage is huge. And I felt like the nerves really should have been there. You know, it was hometown, so I knew a lot of people there. It's televised. It's a huge promotion. Like most of the people that are big in the UFC started their pro career with King of the Cage, you know? So I'm like, you know, I do having all of this go through my head, like, why am I not nervous? But I don't know, like I am calm. I think that if I were to get nervous, I think that game plan would go out the window and my nerves would get the best of me. So I think it's a good thing, because if you see, you know, if you've watched my first 4 pro fights, yeah, I was nervous and I went, you know, like I said before, balls to the wall, like, you know, just go. But now
it's probably more confident, right?
what's that?
It's probably more that you're confident, like, hey, look, I trained really hard for this, you know,
Yeah,
like
confident. I think it's more like, you know, this is what I love to do is I'm in here and I'm training for it. And, you know, I know that if I stay calm, listen to my corners, you know, I got it. I got it. You know, I'm the only one in that cage. So you know, it's on me. So.
It's probably just like any other job, you know, your first couple days are always so nerve-wracking. And then after you realize how to clock in and you realize how to do all this stuff, you're like, it's just work.
Right.
Your work is a little bit more substantial than most people, but you know, that
a little bit.
But in your mind, that's how you systematized it. You know, you're like, hey, this is how this is going to go. And you've normalized that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, at first you're kind of like, whoa, but then you kind of.
Let me ask you this: what was the thing that, like, whenever you first started doing these professional fights, what was the one thing that you remember to this day, like that was crazy?
Like in the cage or training or
even just walking up to the cage? What happens in the back? You know, whenever you're getting taped up, whenever you're walking out, once the cage, like what goes through your head once the cage locks?
I go to sleep in the back. Like some of my teammates or, you know, my, you know, other people look at me like, what is she doing? Like, honestly, I can't say there's really anything crazy. You know, it is weird, I guess, that I sleep. But honestly, like I'll put my headphones on and I'll lay in the corner and until it's time to wrap up, or, you know, sometimes I'll walk around and sometimes people are like, you know, you're walking around laughing and joking and talking to everybody, and what's wrong with you? Like,
no kidding.
I don't know, like that. I guess that's the lack of nerves. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, once I get my, you know, hands wrapped up and I'm starting to warm up and stuff, it's game time. You know, kind of like tunnel vision. I don't really I just focus. I try to make myself focus. You know, that's when I don't like walking out and talking to everybody. You know, it's game time. It's time to do work.
Right.
You know, and then the walk out there is always great. You know, it's so much fun. You know, just walking out there and hearing everybody and your tunnel vision on that cage. You know, most of the time the opponent's already in there. It's awesome. It's awesome.
How do you think that dynamic is going to change now that there's nobody in the audience?
That is, I don't know. I think it is going to be really, really weird at first, because you're used to loud, you know, and to hear yourself breathe and hear every punch and every kick, you know, it's going to be weird.
Yeah. Did you watch the last couple UFCs?
Sometimes I have to really listen to, you know, try to listen to him, well, except for Mike. His voice carries over like everything. But sometimes it's really hard to hear, you know, and to be able to hear both of them in both corners, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird.
Yeah, because you can even hear the announcers.
Right.
Right. I mean, I watched the most
these past fights, couple UFC fights. They're like, you gave me the advantage.
Yeah.
I know Claudia, not Claudia, oh shoot. What's her name? Michelle Watterson.
Oh, I know Watterson. Yeah, I can't remember the name either.
I'm not working right now.
That's okay, but anyhow.
Yeah, she she's like, you guys gave me the advantage. Like, that's the reason, I did some of what I did against Michelle,
Yeah, you guys were talking about leg checks, so I started checking legs. The one guy said.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think D said it. He was like, hey, why isn't he leg checking? And then the next round, the guy comes out and he checks a leg. Freaking,
right.
It is incredible.
Yeah, so it's going to be weird. It is.
It could be advantageous too, because now you hear so long as there's not a language barrier, I mean, you could hear exactly what they're going to try and do to you, vice versa. So
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I kind of know her game plan anyway, but I do think she's going to try to go something different, but we'll see.
Okay.
They probably start talking in code.
Yeah, most of the time we do. I have codes. I don't have codes on the ground, but I have striking codes. So, yeah, I'm sure it will be.
We had a question come in. Do you have a walkout song?
So I used to have Eminem, and so my last two with King of the Cage, they don't let you pick your song. So you are kind of because I guess I don't know, like the copyrights or something. So you kind of walk out to whatever they pick for you. It's kind of weird, but I don't right now.
If you could pick one, what would it be?
Staying Alive.
I don't know. I think I want one made. I want like a collaboration. Like,
oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah, right? Like, because there's a lot of times, like, I'll have, like, if I'm running, I like to run with my headphones on. There are, like, a bunch of songs that come on. I'm like, oh, man, this would be cool as walking. I'm like, I don't like this part, though. And then, another song,
yeah.
Oh, pretty cool. And then, but I think a collaboration would be cool.
Nice.
Have to get it made up.
Yeah, you got some friends, I'm sure, that can make you something.
Hey, so I was seeing on one of the interviews, you changed your name to Tiny Terror, right?
I did. That's when I was like 2 fights in, because crazy thing is I love Oreos, right?
That's where I was going with.
And I don't know who said it, but somebody said it first. I think it was somebody in my family, to be honest with you. I can't remember. They were like, Oreo. That is your walkout name. That is your name. You're Oreo. I'm like, first of all, it sounds weird. But second of all, whatever. Okay, I'm cool with it. So yeah, it was. It was.
What?
I was like, is she mixed or is she like black and white? I mean, like, what's going on?
Oh, wait a minute. It was Tara the Oreo Graff? Get out of here.
It was. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. But yeah, the weird thing is I had them contact me. They're like, copyright, can't do it.
Oreo did?
Well, Modelo. Yeah, that's Oreo's maker. They make Nabisco.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah. Say, hey, what about a sponsor?
No, because if I would have taken that, into my pro career, had they not contacted me, I could have been sued. So I was like, thank God,
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah. And then, so yeah, Tiny Terror just stuck. They're like, oh, next best thing, I guess, right?
Right. It's interesting, though, that you have to have a nickname.
I don't really have to, but
I know you don't have to, but like everybody does.
Yeah, most they do. Yep. It is weird.
But I don't know.
So
You gotta
right,
promote, right? You gotta promote.
Right.
How do you think that this is like when you got into MMA, right? Did you think like, hey, I'm going to do this because I want to leave like a legacy for my kids. I want to put my print on the world. I want to, just push myself.
When I first got into it, honestly, I knew I loved to do it and wanted to keep doing it, but I didn't know it was going to blow up until like midway through my amateur career. Then, you know, once people actually like, you know, really started following me and actually like, you know, like paying attention to me, like I didn't think it was going to be like that, but it turned out to be, you know. Then I'm like, you know, okay, well, I have to be a positive role model. Like I don't want to be, you know, like just a, you know, women sex sell, you know, and most MMA fighters, what are they doing? You know, they're putting their butt on camera.
Yep.
That's not me. Like I want to do, like I want to be a positive role model for kids. You know, I do have another job. You know, I can't. I'm a manager. I can't be posting my butt everywhere. You know, I want people to look at me professionally. You know, take me serious. And yeah, leave a legacy now. You know, now that it's gotten this far, I'm gonna keep going. And I do want kids and women and men, whoever, to just realize, like, one, it's not too late to do. If you want to do something, do it. And you know, for the kids to keep pushing. Like, you can do whatever you want. You know, it's, people say it all the time, but you really can.
Yeah, I think that's a really good message on what's going on, because I know with me teaching self-defense, there's people that have never thrown a kick or a punch, and now that it's like, I don't know if I'm built like that. I don't know if I'm that person to do it. So you just gotta, you're a proven fact that you can actually do what you're intended to. Your mindset is there. You can do what you want to do.
Absolutely. Only roadblock is you. You know, yes, there's hurdles. You got to jump them no matter what you do in life. There's always going to be, like, you're going to have downfalls. You're going to have times that are going to set you back, you know, but that's life, you know, that you're going to have it. If you want it, you're going to keep going. You're going to keep pushing no matter how hard it is, you know?
So what is that big goal now that you are in Bellator? What's the big goal for you?
Just keep going. Keep going, you know. I'm not going to stop. You know, do I think like I'm going to be the UFC champ, you know, next year? No. Like, would that be awesome? Hell yeah.
Right.
But I'm realistic. It's not going to happen, you know. Yes, I'm going to push, and I'm going to do everything I can to be the best that I can. And who knows, if that opportunity arises, hell yeah, you know. But yeah, I want to push this as far as I can, for as long as I can. Be the oldest champ. How about that?
Yeah, you had mentioned that you want to be the oldest champ or the oldest fighter. So that, to me, I mean, you're in for the long haul, playing the long game on this thing.
Absolutely. I don't have that many miles on me, so let's roll.
Yeah, and that's usually what holds you back too, is you've been doing this your whole life, and now you're 32, 33, and then everybody's like, well, they're 32, 33, they're in their prime, or it's already passed. I'm sure people say that to you all the time.
Yeah.
What's your response to something like that?
It's not over till I'm done. Like, I'm gonna keep pushing. There's no, your prime is you, you know. That's how you push.
I agree.
Probably later back. I didn't get a jump till later. So
yeah, and you've only had one real surgery so far during your career, and that wasn't really anything other than an infection in your knee.
Yeah, it was so I had it was called septic bursitis. It was a bummer, man, because I ended up getting the actual surgery 2 weeks out. So what happened was my knee just all of a sudden blew up. Actually, I was at my other job I work for an eye doctor. Like,
yeah,
I was not doing anything strenuous, and my knee just blew up. What is going on? And it was hot red. So I went to, actually I had jits that night, and I was like, whatever, I was going to shake it off and just whatever. And Mike and everybody else, they were like, no, you need to go to a doctor. Like, that's getting bigger by the minute. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll be fine.
of course it's good.
Right. So come to find out, so I ended up going to the emergency room because it was getting bigger and bigger. And they looked, they didn't see anything. They were like, look, we'll release you. You need to go see an orthopedic tomorrow morning. So I did, and he drained it, and he took some of the fluid, sent it to the lab, and that came back. He said it was going to be like 3 days. That came back. I think the next day he called me.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, you have a severe infection. He thought it was just bursitis, where your bursa sac ruptures.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, it's bad. So, and my orthopedic he's freaking awesome. He was a wrestler. So him and his kids do martial arts. So he knows, like, I'm very athletic. He knows my background. And I was supposed to be on Shogun. I was scheduled to fight, and I'm like, and Dr. Ferro now, like, what do we got to do? We got to clear this, like, now. I have to train, because at this point, I think it was 3 weeks till fight. So I was 3 weeks out, and like, you got to clear this. Something's got to go, you know? I said, I can't. Now, I wasn't in pain, but I couldn't bend it because it had, at this time,
That's
like,
so much fluid.
up, right? So I was like, you know, what do we have to do? He's like, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to collaborate with my disease control specialist, and we're going to come up with something. I'm like, okay, awesome. So he gave me the bunch of antibiotics. Then he got back with me the next day after he talked to, they collaborated, and he's like, there's this one pill we're going to try. I called it the gold pill. This thing was like $500 just for 2 pills.
Get out of here.
Yeah, no joke. It was crazy. So he said, if you take this, you should see a significant difference in 24 hours.
What are the side effects of the gold pill?
I don't know. I was like, I don't know.
You're like, I don't care. I need to fight. I got fights coming up.
I said, if I got 2 awesome doctors collaborating, it's got to be fine, right?
Yeah.
So I took it. I kept taking them. I took them both, and then 24 hours later, he was like, so this was now Sunday. He's like, come into my office. I want to take a look. So he, of course, Sunday they're not open. So he was actually doing some dictations, and he was like, all right, come in the back door. I'll let you in. I want to take a look. I'm like, all right, cool. So I came in there, and he looked at it. He's like, I'm sorry, over the phone, he was like, how's it look? It's looking really good, actually. Like, I'm happy with it. Like, I can walk now because I can bend it.
Yeah.
So I go in there, and he looks at me and just gives me this look like, and I'm like, what? So the infection was traveling down into my calf. So the knee wasn't as swollen, but my calf was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but because it was still really red, and it was warm to the touch. So he's like, no. He's like, tomorrow you're going into surgery. I'm like, no, I'm not. No. Yeah. So I had no pre-op, no nothing. I'm like, I can't do this. Am I going to be better in 2 weeks to fight? He's like, this one's out of the question. Like, do you want to lose your leg, or do you want to die? Because that's what's going to happen. So those were the 3 options: surgery, lose a leg, or die. Possible. Right. So, yeah. I mean, I got this, let's see, this gnarly scar from it. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can see it.
But,
so they just had to lay it wide open and then just scrape everything out?
Yeah, so he went in, they removed the bursa sacs, which kind of sucked because I could feel it. Thank God when I do shots, I never shoot on my right side. But when I'm kneeling, or like I'm, doing any kind of exercise and I'm on that knee, I can feel the difference between the knees. But not anything that's going to stop me by any means. But it almost feels like one's kneeling on concrete, one's kneeling on like a mat.
Yeah.
So what he did was he went in, he got the bursa sacs out, scraped, cleaned, and then, so what he said he did that most surgeons don't do is he took like the base, like my skin pretty much, and stitched it together inside. so that, because normally they don't do that, which it feels really weird because like this knee and skin move. This one,
Yeah.
like it doesn't move. So he
What's
said
the
that
theory
prevents
behind
it
that?
from happening again. Like most of the time, people will have bursa sacs and the bursa sac surgery and it reswells. No fluid can get underneath of it now. It's together.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I had never heard of that, and I'm like, hey, he's a phenomenal surgeon. So I'm like, hey, whatever you think. And the good thing is he knows, what I do, and he's done the same thing. He's a wrestler. He knows about, being, taking those knee blows. So
That's cool that you have a doctor like that as well. I think that'd be important for any fighter to have somebody that they can commiserate back and forth and know what your goal is. It's not just to have your knee cleaned up. It's to have the knee cleaned up and continue doing what I've been doing.
Right. And that's what he said after the surgery. Well, actually, he told me before, right before he did it, he said most of the time, most surgeons don't do, but this will prevent, he said, this is what I've been doing because, and it's worked, they don't come back in for repeat surgeries or having to drain it again because it's fluids built back up in it. But yeah, and had absolutely no problems. That surgery was July 1st. So it hasn't even been a year yet. And I mean, it's
You're
perfect.
good to go.
Yeah, it can probably take a hit better than that one.
Yeah, it's reinforced.
Yeah.
Reinforced. So what fight do you have coming up?
Well, it was supposed to be the same girl, but of course we don't know when it's going to happen again.
Okay.
It was supposed to be the 6th of June, but all Bellator has been postponed for now. But it'll happen. It's just a matter of when, which sucks. Everything's up in the air with this coronavirus. So
For sure.
I'm hoping they take a little note out of old Dana's playbook and go on down to Florida.
Well,
Let's go.
I heard the Florida governor, I guess, he was saying that anybody wants to come down, you want to practice sports, you want to play sport, I don't care. Come on down.
Yeah.
I heard him say that today.
It's dangerous though, man. Like, 'cause if you're opening it up to everybody like that, that's a little sketchy. Like,
Hey,
I'll go down and fight. And I can test the fight, and then I'll come back.
Right.
But no, I mean that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's where my opponent's from.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of research on her with her Taekwondo background, and yeah, it was an interesting fight though in my eyes, just as a fan, because it's more of a stand-up versus a grappler.
I like both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you like both?
I do. It's actually only the last 2 to 3 years that ground has been my thing. Honestly, when I was before in my amateur, I was like, I don't like the ground. Like I couldn't get up off my back, and once I was like, I have to get some kind of groundwork because this is not going to work. Every time I get on my back, I can't get up, so I hated being on the ground. I hated that side of it, but now I love it. I love it. There's nothing better than making somebody tap the submission,
It's
it seems like everybody's in the fear of the unknown, So if that's something that you're not comfortable with, like I know with me, like that's it. I want to work that till I feel that way. Absolutely. Yep. And now
I like them both still. Don't get me wrong. I love to stand up. I'll stand and bang with you any day. But I like the ground. Ground and pound, yes, that's definitely my thing. Smashing up against the cage has always been my thing. But I like the jits part of this now. The last 3 years is really I've come a long way in it. And I've really, really taken a liking to it. So
are you a bigger fan of the gi or no gi?
Are we talking BJJ or are we talking MMA? Like, if we're talking BJJ, give me the gi because I want to grab it and I'm going to use it. I can't stand grappling, you know, like you're grappling, and I can't, like, if I can't grab you, I want to punch you.
Okay. Okay. So if you're gonna do no gi, you want combat no gi.
I want gloves.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. See, I'm a bigger fan of the no gi situation. I hate the gi. I don't know what it is.
Down.
Mostly because I get choked all the damn time with my own shirt. You know, I'm like, I feel like I'm in a good position. I'll have like good pressure, and all of a sudden I'd get loop choked. I'm like, what just happened?
Yes. Yes.
Like,
yeah, in the gi, you never know. Like it could change at, you know, game can change at any second.
Oh, any second.
You think you're ahead, nope. Because they grab the gi one time and pull it, you know, you're in another position.
Yeah. But I think as a fighter though, having that background I think it's important just because of the mental aspect of it. It continues to force you to be exactly in the moment.
Yeah.
You can't think about anything else because as soon as you do, you get swept and you're getting choked.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have you noticed that too, that you're,
parts, you know,
yeah,
on your toes, got to be, you know, it's mixed.
Yeah, you got to adapt and change every single time they move or you move.
Absolutely.
You have to be super smart to be a mixed martial artist, in my opinion. You have to be.
Yeah.
And somebody who can juggle as much as you do, I think that adds to your ability to be so calm in those situations.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I agree. Yeah, I absolutely do. I do. If my life wasn't like this, would it be, you know, would I be a little more nervous? Maybe, you know, if I were younger, would I? Maybe, you know, but
yeah. I think personally, I just think it's a good situation. I mean, for your position, starting later, having the family and having so much to juggle, it puts your training on a pedestal that's absolutely necessary to be a pro fighter.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what a lot of people, they're like, you know, you have so much, and when do you have time? You know, and that's what comes with, you know, what, like I've always said, if you want something, you're gonna find a way to do it. You're gonna make time. You know, of course, you know, family and, you know, the job that pays most of the bills right now come first, you know. Right now, my MMA is not paying all the bills, you know. Can you get there to where that can be your only thing? Absolutely. But I can't right now because, you know, we do have a family. You know, I gotta put other things first. However, I want to do this and I want to be successful in it, and I wanna, you know, be great at what I do. I gotta make time. And whenever I can make time, I gotta do it. You know, even if I don't feel like doing it, you know. Are there days where, you know, before the coronavirus, it's 8:00 at night, I'm like, man, I'm exhausted. I had a shit day at work, you know, kids are driving me crazy. I gotta go to the gym. You know, like I just want to lay here on this couch. Of course, there's days like that, but you gotta go, you know, especially if you're in camp mode. You know,
especially because you said you have a 13-year-old, right?
11.
11.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in that. I've raised another child he's 16, but this 12, 13-year-old, like I just want to.
That age is they know it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good kid, but he likes to talk and he likes to question, you know, and what's bad is so the youngest boy, Ian, he's 7, so he picks up on a lot of it, you know. So that's the hard part. We don't get my stepdaughter as much, you know, as I'd like to, so she doesn't pick up some of those traits, but she'll hang with them though, you know. Yeah. But yeah, at that age, they know it all. They know it all.
Yeah, it's probably like a no gi situation or a gi situation or whatever you got.
Yeah.
Right.
But the point that you brought up, you know, making time for it. If you want to do something, you make time for it. That's just all there is to it. Whether that's a relationship, whether that's a sport, whatever it is, whether that's going to the bar, you make time.
Whatever you want to do, right? You have to make time, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. And
So
you know, the other things, are they more important? Absolutely, they are way more important. But this is something that I want to do and I love to do, and you have to make time for that too. You know, it's about balance, give and take. You know.
Yeah, and that's, you know, having some people may say that that's not a good thing to have your boyfriend as your coach. In my vision, it's like they know exactly what's going on in your life then.
Yeah.
And as a coach, you know, we have coaches on this podcast all the time, and that's what they talk about, is getting into that relationship of the athlete and the coach. What better situation?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the only downfall is knowing when and how to separate the two. That's the hardest part. But other than that, it's golden, you know, except for right now, because he's down. But I always have a sparring partner. I always have, you know, somebody that's guiding me, you know. It's great. It is. It's like I said, it's never like, it can never be 100% perfect ever. It's not possible, but it's a good thing. Some people are like that. I wouldn't do that, but you know,
But they probably don't like their boyfriend or husband.
Yeah.
But the good thing is if you don't and you're having a bad day and you guys are pissing each other off, you can fight.
Yeah, let's go settle this on the mats real quick. We'll take care of it.
Sometimes we turn the heat up. Like we have a little disagreement, or you know, you're starting to irritate me. We turn the heat up. He pretends like he doesn't, but
you can feel it.
we all know. We all know. Like, you know what
the other thing too, he has the best interests at heart for you.
Absolutely.
Because he cares for you, and he wants. Do you ever feel like if you're getting too beat up, you know, will he get his emotions?
This conversation yesterday because of I don't know if did you guys watch Anthony Smith?
Yeah. What did you think they should have threw the towel in?
Honestly, he says yes, but he was there. He actually posted and said, "Look, I was doing enough so they didn't stop the fight.
Yeah,
I'm there. I get that. Like
I like that Herzog let them fight too.
I do too. Would I have gone to where my teeth were falling out? No, and that's what I told him. I said, you better never throw that towel in. Like, I will call when I'm done. Like, and he's like, if I don't like it, I'm throwing it. I was like, you better not. Like, I'm serious. Like, because I'm smart enough to know when enough's enough. If my teeth were falling out, we're done. We're done here. Like, I want my teeth. So, my mom would probably be really mad because she spent a lot of money when I was little on these teeth.
Yeah.
But so if I'm when I'm done, when I'm broken, when I'm, you know, I've had enough, I'll let you know. Like, I'll tap out. I'll let you know. But until then, and he's like, oh no, fighter safety, fight. I'm like, but like, I'm the one in here, you know? But
I would agree with him. I would agree with him and say, hey, no, because your pride's gonna get in the way. I know you're a warrior. And I know that you're just gonna leave it all out on the mat. And no, I need to look out for you.
Like, I would push probably a little bit further than normal, but I wouldn't want my corner to stop it. I wouldn't, like, let me do that. But
let me ask him. Put him on the camera.
He's right here. He's already. No.
Yeah. Well, we talked about something in a couple previous episodes. It was a hot state versus cold state. So when you're in that hot state, let's say like just an elevated mood or whatnot, in a fight, you're not going to be able to make that rational decision that's going to protect you later on. And your corner may have a better situation going on mentally because they're not in that fight getting beat up to the point that you could possibly throw the towel in.
Yeah, I mean, Yes and no. Like I
There you go.
when enough's enough. You know, yes, you're right. In the cage, it's different because you're always like your adrenaline's going. You know, you're in that moment. Yeah, I agree.
Right.
But no, like I've always said, I'll go to sleep. Like I'll be choked out. But if I'm taking way too much, you know, if I'm taking way too much of a beating, or I know a limb's gonna break, I'll tap.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, where's he at?
Sorry.
I'm with you, bud. I'd be like, nah, that's it, you know, because she's gonna push as much as she can. That's just gonna be the warrior mentality, right? And where are you at with it?
I mean, I've been there. You know, I've been fighting since 2008. I'm at the end of probably my career now. I've been coaching for over 10 years or longer, you know, and I've been across every fighter you can come across, more males than females, you know. And to tell you the truth, every female I've encountered, they usually push harder than most males. You know, we're very
pain tolerance, man. They have babies.
Yeah, you know. So well, we gotta look at it like this. So if we're talking about the Anthony Smith case, how many you know, uncontested strikes are we talking here to the head? Things like that. Was he doing enough to move? I mean, yeah, he was moving, but what was he really doing? Okay, please mount me. Okay, here's half guard, punch me again. Here's my back, punch me again. Oh, I'm holding your wrist, but I'm still getting punched. You know, to what point is it enough you're taking too many hits to the head, elbows, you know, kicks, knees, whatever, and you're losing your teeth? It's stupid in my eyes. I've been there. I've taken some pretty nasty shots. You know, what was it? The Atlantic City fight in Jersey in September when I fought Ben Montanez. I took an illegal knee, and
he kept going.
You know, I didn't. Of course, Keith Peterson came over and asked me. He said, "Are you good? You want to keep going?" I'm thinking the fight's over because it was a good shot. And I look up, fuck yeah, you're gonna keep at. You're gonna ask me if I'm gonna fucking go.
I'm gonna go.
I'm not dead. Now to that point,
it seems like he's adding to your argument, Tara. I don't know.
But a couple days after, they should have stopped the fight. All honesty, because if you ask Tara, me and Zed had talked a couple days after the fight, and honestly, my speech was a little off, and and I wasn't all there.
He wasn't.
And lights,
he looked at me and was like, "Light." I mean, I'm like,
the lights were bothering me. What's very funny is Pat Miltich was in the corner, and I rolled over, and he's like looking at me like I did a fucking milkshake after that one, and he just starts laughing, and then he's looking at me like, you know, are they gonna stop it?
I was losing my mind.
To the safety of the fighter, you got to remember this is one thing. Me and my old coach, Coach Seth Stevenson, always just talk about is in MMA, there's not a lot of longevity. Mm-hmm. You understand? So how much do you put in is how much you're going to get out of it. And, you know, we got to, just like we get hurt more in training than fighting. So training to me needs to be high intensity, low impact. There's no reason to be fucking sparring hard every day. I mean, I remember the days of being in the room with Jamie Varner, Amanda Nunez was there, Sean Shorty Rock Santella, and Jamie Varner. The reason Jamie Varner is done with MMA is because of too much brain damage. You know why? Because you walk in the room, him and Jim Miller and a couple other guys, and you beat the shit out of each other every day. You know, so there's not a lot of longevity in fighting, and to put your fighter at risk sometimes like that, it's uncalled for in my case.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if you're talking about longevity, that's for sure. You taking blows like that and letting fights go and uncontested, just straight power shots to the dome. It was tough to watch when he was starting to get teed off on. I mean, it was like
it was that part was a little extreme.
Like I liked it. It was because you know it's a 5-round bout, so you want to see the whole 5 rounds, and so do the fighters, of course. But man, when Anthony's just getting teed off on, I'm like, this is tough.
Yeah.
Hey, another thing, like, I'm sorry to cut you off, my man. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, especially after probably the end of round 2, he was really downfalling. You could see when he went to his stool, you know.
Yeah, it was almost like he wanted to come out in those first 2 rounds and try and get a finish, and it just didn't happen. so he gassed himself or something. I don't know.
That's what I was telling Tar. I mean, obviously he's been in the game a long time too, but Glover's a veteran.
Yes.
Glover's really hard to put away. You know, if you're thinking you're going to come out there in the first or second round and put Glover away, you got to think again. He's very durable.
Yeah, even at that age, he's durable.
Hey, like one thing that's got to be horrible for your mindset too. You know, just to like wake up the next day and be like, hey, look, my teeth are jacked up now, and like, what's going to be really hard to come back to? You know, just be like, man, like how is that? I'm sorry, I never been in a cage or anything like that, but I mean, I've been beat up before. And it's horrible. But like to wake up the next day and be like, man, you know, I'm not, as you get older, it takes so much longer for you to get better, right? After you get rocked like so many times to the head, like when you were 18, 20, it was so much easier to bounce back.
Right.
And now it's just like, man, what?
Yeah, I think that comes along with what we were talking about in the beginning. You know, that's why, you know, the older you get, the smarter you are, you know, because you know, like, I can't take this shit very long. Like, you know, that's why I said, you know, let me decide, because I'm not dumb. Like, I know when enough's enough. You know, I don't want to, again, like I have to have another job as well right now anyways. Like, I have to be able to hold a very intelligent conversation. Like I can't, I have to have that lights off switch, you know. I know when enough's enough. And, you know, I think, you know, after repetitive blow after blow after blow, it's not good, you know, and you're not going to be able to recoup from it. So being older, I think I'm smarter, you know, I know my body can't recover like it used to. Yeah. So
it's good that you guys are having that conversation though, too, as a fighter and a coach and as a relationship goes, you know, having those types of conversations before it happens. God, that, I mean, you're already...
I think that could be another thing, you know, relationship wise. Now, as a female fighter, we always get the call so fast and it's so irritating. Like, there are some, like, for instance, my last fight, there's no reason, like, I was on the ground. If you watch that fight, my leg is creeping up her back. Like, I'm in my game. Did she rock me? Absolutely. She hit me, and she's got a hard hit, you know. Was I gone? No. No. I was there. And if you watch, I'm trying to bring my legs up her back, and even at the very end, go to throw my leg around her, you know. Mm-hmm. It's so irritating how fast they stop it for women, because the very next fight, it was death. Like, I thought the dude was going to die in the cage. Like,
no
not
way.
even. Yeah.
Why do you think they do that for women?
I don't know. And that's the irritating part. Like,
are there any women referees?
What we're getting ourselves into, just as any male, you know. Just because I'm a female, don't call it fast, you know. So that's, you know, I think kind of goes along with the relationship, you know, coach boyfriend girlfriend, you know, whatever. If he has that emotional, like, he loves me, so he doesn't want to watch me, you know, get the shit. So I think, you know, he would be more susceptible to being like, oh, okay, we're done. But I don't want that, you know, just as any ref. Now, they don't have that emotional attachment, but female, you know, they're going to stop it. I hate it. You know, that's the only thing that I don't like as far as the female world of MMA.
Yeah. I've never noticed that, but I'm sure I will now.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, it sucks, but we all know that. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some refs out there, which I like it, you know, that will let it go. There was one Invicta fight that was crazy. It was nuts. Mm-hmm. But the girls were both, you know, they were both in it. They both were cut open. They both were taking a beating. It's just probably why they let it go, because it was happening on both sides, you know?
Yeah. That was like that young J chick fight and
yes.
Yeah. That was a great fight too. I mean, they let that sucker go.
Yeah, well, he kind of have to with the title fight.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But that was like why I was okay with the Anthony Smith thing going because it was the 5-round fight. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, you know what you're signing up for. You know, you have to sign a waiver. Hi.
hello.
You know, you have to sign a waiver. You know, they always tell you there's a risk you can die. Yeah, we know. You know, there's a risk that you can have, you know, injuries, long term, short term.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but like for a health insurance purpose, like or life insurance, is that something that you ask or they ask you about? Like, what is your hobby? Things like that, or do you even worry about anything like that?
Well, I haven't renewed my life insurance policy in a long time.
Oh, so you're good to go. So keep it quiet.
Them. But if regular insurance,
Nothing doesn't matter.
No. And most of the time, you don't use your health insurance anyway. You use the promotions insurance if you get hurt. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're coming up on an hour and 15. I appreciate all the time that you put in today. Where can they find you at? What do you have going on?
I have Facebook, Tara the Tiny Terror Graff. I have Instagram, I believe Graff4. And then I have Twitter. I just started Twitter. I'm not a Twitter user, so I start getting that out there. I don't really know what my username is. I think it's Tara Graff.
We'll link it in the show notes.
And that's it. That's it.
Okay. Any closing remarks?
I would do want to give thanks. Gotta give credit where credit's due. First and foremost to my coaches, Mike, the Mike and Mike show. Gotta give credit to all my coaches and everyone over at Royal, Pagano BJJ, my strength and conditioning side, Josh. Are great. Love it over there. To all my sponsors, John Fit Meals. If you're in the Maryland area, or I think he may even do Pennsylvania, on point, legit, great food, awesome. Hammer Fist and HKA USA, they both have awesome apparel. If you need it, hit them up. Vita House and Flex Nutrition on my nutrition side. Great supplements if you need them. And then the Purpose Filled Fitness. Thank you guys, all of you. You know, without my friends, family, fans, you guys, you know. Yeah. It's impossible.
Hey, where can we get shirts?
So I have them. I can give you the link.
Yeah.
It's actually one of my sponsors on Hammer Fist. They have done shirts for me. He had them made the first time this bout was scheduled. So he has a bunch of them made still. So Great. If you want, you can, I believe it's hammerfist.com. And he also has a Facebook link. They're all in there. I can send them to you guys.
Yeah, please do. Cause I want to plug those and I want to get a couple. So.
Okay. Oh, awesome. That'd be great.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. I'm on board with that.
He's rich. So he has.
Why do you say stuff like that?
I'm always looking for sponsors. So.
I'm always looking. Listen, you say what you want to say. I put my money where I feel it's going to make the most impact. So I like to support things that I care about.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Ron.
Yeah.
So
I know you are.
So we're probably gonna have like a Stars podcast on your shorts or so.
I'm cool with it. With it.
She's with it. I'm with it. No, man, that's seriously. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you so much for jumping on as well. You guys were fantastic, and I hope this isn't the last time that we chat.
Anytime, man.
Man, for sure.
Good. It was a good time. Hey, thanks. I mean, you guys are doing great, and you got this relationship thing working out. Cool. So
For those of you who can't see, they're just picking each other's faces now.
Elbows.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, hey, kicker, but my leg is out.
He just had knee surgery, so.
Ah, brutal. How long till you're back in the cage?
Honestly, I've had a couple of setbacks. It should have been. I'm not. I'm done pretty much.
Done.
I believe I still compete jiu-jitsu, but I have I work for the sheriff's office now, so
Okay.
you know, I did my long term in the military, and I kind of miss that camaraderie. So I've joined the sheriff's office now. So you know, I like helping people.
Hey, thanks for your service.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm an Army vet myself, so.
Hey, you gotta stick together. Where were you at?
I was in Fort Lewis. I was in Korea. I was in Fort Seal.
You must have me in Korea, bro. I stayed in France for both terms. Don't worry. I know.
All right, guys. Hey, Aaron, where can they find you at?
GC_Rican _Valor PDS. I think I did that. But also valorpds.com. If you guys are looking for any self-defense, firearms training, hey, I can come down to Maryland. I mean, we're certified. We can go anywhere. Just get a group together and we'll go.
Awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a range.
I appreciate you.
They have a range in a trailer. It's really cool.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, they travel around everywhere and just like pop open and then boom, we're shooting guns.
You got a range. Heck yeah, that's awesome. We love to shoot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dope.
Game on.
All right, we're definitely taking this offline. All right, guys, thank you so much. Hey, you guys out there, enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.